Welcome to Austin, man.
So we Austin, Texas, marching, stepping, hands on our weapons, cause boys be flexing. Kelly in the game like a pin 'em off the chain. These boys are hard to tame, can't do double loving, man. So we Austin, Texas, marching, stepping, hands on our weapons, cause boys be flexing. Kelly in the game like a pin 'em off the chain. The boys are hard to tame, can't do double loving, man. Well, I be crossing while in Austin and them boys gon' hate. Some boys be popping trunk, but I be popping tailgates. The trophy truck, shit no book, I'm about to get loose.
What's up, world? This is Albert Rideau, a.k.a. Mad Creole, for the Austin Icons podcast. Today, my special guest, man, he has a great story. He's doing great things in the community. Is Street Minister Whitehead. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, my man. I appreciate you having me on here.
Man, that's the whole point of the podcast, is to get just, I wanted to grab as many people as I could that's in the community. It's not all about music, and it's not all about just entertainment and everything else. Some things are a little bit serious, and I wanted to make sure that I get people on here that really are doing things in the community to help people as well. Like we was talking, we both I'm from Colony Park, he's from Lakeside. We was just sitting there talking about the old days and with all the characters and cast of characters that was back there,
Characters.
Yeah, I mean, we was just naming off half a hood, and it was crazy, just the names that keep popping up. And shout out to Colony Park, man. 2-4. We gotta always do that. I moved later on and went to 2-3, but I grew up in Colony Park as a kid, man. So if anybody knows Colony Park and Lakeside, it was wild, man. It was off the chain. It was crazy neighborhoods.
That's right.
Man, let's get on to your story. I'm interested. So where were you born, and what neighborhoods did you come into when you were, and how'd you get here to Austin if you weren't born here?
Already. So yeah, definitely. I was born in Austin, Texas. I lived here right when I was born, about 3 weeks. My dad was military, so back then there was a place called Bergstrom Air Force Base, and
Yep.
Yeah, so I was born in St. David's, but immediately he got TDY, so he got stationed to North Carolina. So
Okay.
I was living in North Carolina for about 2 months, and then boom, right out of the gate, we overseas, and I'm living in England for about 4 years. Yeah. For about 4 years, and from there, came back over to the U.S., lived in Utah for another 4 to 5 years.
Oh, man.
Then boom, hit Korea, then came back, and then ended up over here in Austin about 80, probably about mid-80s, and ended up going to Blanton and Andrews, and
Got you.
then everything started from there. But my life started with a lot of traveling, man. I always claimed Austin, but I was born here, and then immediately 3 weeks later I'm in North Carolina. So
Shit, you did. My dad, but he's my stepfather, but I call him my dad. Finest man. He was in the Air Force as well. He was in Bergstrom. He went to everywhere you just named.
really,
But we stayed here. Me and my mama stayed here, so I got clothes, and he would send me stuff from Korea and wherever, he was just,
exactly.
and I was just like, man, I had all the first Jordache jeans, and I mean, he was, it was pretty cool. But I wish we would have went, a couple, one or two of the places when he did leave. That would have been awesome.
Oh yeah. I actually got to go with them though. Yeah,
See, that's
Korea.
cool.
I didn't stay in. I went there, and then they couldn't get me in their school system for some reason, so I ended up coming back. But I'm with you. He was sending me all these tailor-made, custom stuff, Boogie Down Production.
Oh, yeah.
Reebok suits and all
Reebok
that
suits.
stuff.
Man, I had everything. I had the first of everything. I don't care what it was, man. I was getting it first. I was like, man, I didn't know it was first. I didn't know it was the style or fashion at the time. He would just send me a bunch of stuff, so I would put it on and go to school and be like, oh man, where you get them Jordache jeans, or where you get that from? And I'm like, man, my dad, I don't know. I had a Walkman. Before anybody else had a Walkman. My dad brought it back. Man, I didn't know what the thing was. I'm sitting there outside in Colony Park playing my little Walkman, and people looking at me, man, what you got there? What's that thing you playing with?
Yeah. What a cassette.
So, yeah, the Walkman was dope. So when you got back, what were you doing?
Oh, so when I got back here, I really got into music, especially hip hop. My dad, he's the one who introduced hip hop to me with the Sugar Hill Gang, and I was hooked ever since. In 1979, we was going fishing in England, in Utah. But when we got here, and I heard this group, man, I used to see, the movies Breaking and seeing Ice-T and all them, but man, when I heard this group called the World Class Wrecking Crew.
Oh, man. Yes.
I was hooked. I was hooked, man. They had
World Class
songs
Wrecking
called
Crew.
The Planet and the Surgery and all this stuff, man. And,
yeah.
Oh, man, it was on. And, I did all the breakdance and all that, but it was their music that just got me into hip-hop. And once I was in, that was it. I knew there was nothing else that mattered. Now, here's the funny thing. My mom, on the other hand, was a believer in a religious woman.
Right.
So she got me all in Shirley Caesar and the Winans and
got you.
Cleveland and all that. So on one side, I'm like, okay, I got to go to church and I got to do this. Then on the other side, my dad, he's a DJ at Bertram at
mine too.
The club there. So
he's
playing like the Whispers and all the disco stuff.
The Funkadelics and anything you name. He got all the records. Yeah.
He had a whole everything. So I'm like, I'm really feeling what he's doing. I'm going to church and I'm in the, Sunshine Band and the choir and all that stuff. With
so are you the only one that does music in your family? As far as like, I know, so you got your dad now, he's DJing. Did your mom sing or anything, or did you have any?
Yeah, she was in the choir. Now, as far as my family go, on my dad's side, there's a group called the Whitehead Brothers that's out in California. That's my Uncle Kenny's children. So that's my dad's oldest brother's boys. I don't know if you had ever heard of them, but
not off the top.
Yeah, but
I got to check it out then.
Yeah, they have music on a movie called Jason's Lyrics and everything.
Okay. Oh, then I definitely need to check that out because most likely I've heard. And you know what? If it's in California, I probably heard. I have to hear it. As soon as I hear the songs or the music, I'm like, oh yeah, I know who that is. So yeah, I got to check that out. That's crazy. So when did you start like poetry, writing, anything, singing, rapping? When did that start?
All right, so then I got saved in 2012 September on the same day my divorce began with my second wife, and man, I was a promoter. I've always been a promoter. I did DJing, never rapped. I did talent shows, but I never really rapped, and so I remember in the studio out there in Bryan, Texas with another artist named Punton, and he was like, man, you need to write this song, because he was working on one called Christ in My Life with me, and from then I was like, okay, bet, I'm going to write with you, and he was showing me all how to write. I was always, like I said, a promoter, but I didn't know really how to write a song, and from that point on, man, it's been on. And I understand this is just a temporary thing, like God placed it in me to do that, to get the music out, but that's not really where my ministry's at. He just wanted me to do that, and then I recognized the season, and now I moved on to something else now. So
let's go back. You said promoting. So is that where you first started, like kind of getting into the business side of music? You jumped into the promoting side. What year? What year did you start promoting?
So originally it would probably be I met a rapper named Lil O back in like 2000, 2002. It was some screwed up clique guys that I'd run into, like Lil Kiki on 6th Street, DJ
Shout out to all them.
Yeah, exactly. And I ran into Big Pokey and all them cats. So I started promoting with Lil O at a record store called Music Mania. It was before it left Highland Mall, because it used to be in Highland Mall, and then it went over there by Fiesta.
Over there on by Fiesta downtown.
Yeah, I'll pass out flyers and all that of where he was gonna be at. So I was real close with working with him. And SUC was like not necessarily up and coming. They were really established. They were only getting better. So he was just one of the rappers that I just kind of clicked with, that we were able to really put his music out there. But that was pretty much it. The Lizard Lounge, I would do more promotions there, passing out flyers, getting phone calls, trying to set up shows and all that stuff for a lot of them guys. So shout out to SUC for back in the day.
SUC, boy, Screwed Up Click. If you don't know who Screwed Up Click is and you live in Texas, there's something wrong with you.
True. Yep.
So shout out to all of them, man. Shout out and rest in peace to a lot of them too.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah. So then, after you started promoting, that's when you jumped into the ministry as far as doing rapping and because it's a sight to see. I mean, if you have not checked out videos and man, it's amazing because it's at first when I remember seeing the first like the videos. I was like, okay, I'm hearing the beat, and I'm like, man, that's like SUC or that's like, I'm hearing beats. I'm like, wait a minute, what's that? And then all of a sudden I'm hearing the message behind it. I'm like, okay. I said, okay, I see where we're going with this. I said, this is different. I said, all right, I like this. I said, this is okay. Cause now I'm bobbing my head to it and I'm like, I like this. This is will catch people that, either young people who want to, some people don't sing. Or they listen to hip hop, and so it's a good transition.
Already, I appreciate that. That's one of those things that, so in the Word of God, it tells us that the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Meaning, there's plenty of work to do out here if you're trying to get the word out. And He just gave me a different style to try to reach other people. There's always ways of rapping and all that stuff, but it's the message. We're trying to get people in so they can understand, look, when you die, you're either going to go two places if you're a believer. And if you're not a believer, guess what? You're still going to go two places. So in the 90s, I don't want to put too much out there, but
no, we ain't going to incriminate nobody, especially yeah, but I know, and because I want people to realize that, a lot of us have changed, what we were doing in that time frame and trying to do good. And that's also for the kids so they can understand, man, even if you're going the wrong way, a lot of people went the wrong way and they turn back around, man. That's how it is. Sometimes you got to learn the hard way.
Yeah, man. It ain't easy at all.
Is that what inspires and helps your ministry?
Definitely. I was incarcerated, and I was one of those people that have kind of been in and out of jail for different things. And I remember saying, "Look, God, if you get me out of this, I'll, do this." And I was a guy that, at that time, didn't keep my word with Him. I was a womanizer, and I was a thief. I was doing the most, man. I was all over the place. I was a liar. Just being real, and I remember telling God at that moment in 12, if you get me out of this, because I was really facing some nonsense charges, but either way, I made a commitment, and he pulled it out, and I said, from this point on, man, I ain't looking back, and I never look back. Now I still deal with life, I've still been lied on, I still deal with stuff, but my commitment is still there. Like I despite everything, I know God got me because I made a commitment to Him. I made a promise that I won't turn back, and that's where I'm at, man. That's where I'm at. But the music part, awesome. A lot of people are loving it and feeling it, but that's it. Once it's out there, I'm not doing any more albums or nothing. God told me that was it for me to do back in November. It's called Rapture Ready. That's the last album. So all the videos we were doing last year and everything to get the album promoted and dropped.
Okay.
That's it. I just released 4 albums just 2 weeks ago, all at once, and that's it, man. I'm still do singles, but I'm going into pastoralship, so. That's really where I'm at now.
That's awesome. See, that's even, it just keeps on. It keeps elevating.
Yeah, you gotta recognize the season you're in. If that's where God has you, that's not where He's gonna keep you. That's true. Get comfortable in their season, and they're like, "Oh, this is it. Music is what I was born to do." well, that you have to have more of a purpose on this earth to do just more than music. Or, you know, you didn't know that's
right.
what you were going to do. That's what you'd like to do, but God has a
Right.
bigger purpose for you. And I recognize that season, and that season is over because now he's moving me on to something else. He could, you know, you could tell God, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm good here. And then he can remove your voice and say, no, I told you, this is it.
That's right.
I need you to do something else. So I
That's
recognize
right.
that I heard him, and now I'm moving on to something else.
Yeah, I had the similar thought process. In I think 2009 or 10, I was like, that's it. It's like, God, I did the same thing you did. I was not happy with the Lord, and I said, you know what? I did something my grandmother used to always tell. My grandmother said, no, you don't blaspheme. You don't challenge God. You don't talk crazy to God. You don't do that. I got so mad. I was like, you know what? If you're here, if you really are, if you really there, then you show me. You show me, and I will ride to the death. I'll ride until I'm with you. But you're gonna have to come down here and come get me. You're gonna have to come talk to me. I'm not feeling none of this. And he showed me real quick. I mean, real fast in a hurry. And once he showed me that thought process, like I told him, I always will praise God, and I always will push that narrative, but I gotta be who I am. I'm not gonna do the holy just roller thing. I'm not into that, but I am straight. I mean, when I say God, period, I got saved in 2011 or 12.
Yeah.
And so I mean, when I got in there, shoot, my wife tell me today the water was boiling, and oh man, they say I need to be dipped one more time, but I think I'm good. I think I'm all right. But it's a transformation. You got to get your sins taken care of, man. I really needed to do that. It was really bothering me, and it finally, you get some things off of you, and then you, like you said, music became I don't know, it was more of a crutch, I think. Yes, I have the talent. I love music. I was born in a musical family, but like you said, that wasn't my purpose totally, and I had to stop. And when I stopped, I literally shut it down and stopped. And I think people really tripped out on that. How you just stop singing? My dad, how you stop doing anything? Like you said, God will move you in a different direction, and that's real. Then he brought me back. He brought me back and told me, do this now. I said, okay, well, I'll do this then. But you got to listen, I guess. That's probably the hardest thing for people to understand, that God talks to you. I don't think some people want to listen.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. If you're not going to listen, because we're stubborn by nature. We're creatures that want to do our own thing. We really think we got control, and we don't. If we had that much control, nobody would ever die. Because we already know when our time is to go. So
that's right.
We had that much control, but we don't have control, and that's the thing.
And then that's hard for some people to wrap around their mind. They want it. They want this control.
It's an illusion. That's all it is. We didn't control ourselves to come in this world. So why do you think we're gonna control our ways to get out?
There you go. So the ministry itself, what is the ministry doing in the community and the public, and what are you doing behind the scenes?
So the ministry itself is what I do is I hit the streets still to this day. It started back in 12, and I get out still hitting praying for people when I see them on the corners, or hit at the car washes. I still give them out free Bibles. I'm still giving out mixtapes. I just don't promote it online like I used to, because I was told I don't have to by God himself. But at first it was to get it established, that let people know this is what God is doing with me. But I don't have to continue to do that, because he told me I don't have to. So that's really what I'm doing. I'm still praying with people, talking with people. And like I said, you see the music part, and that's great, but we all still dealing with life. I got a wife, and I'm still, we have arguments, and I got kids, and we got disagreements. Life is what it is. Don't let the videos fool you. That was just a point in time, I was in a good mood. I was in a good spot to do some music, but right from that video, there was probably an argument on the way home. You know what I'm saying?
Man, if they don't, woo.
Yeah.
Mrs. Rideau is not a joke. Me is not a joke. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, we get it. Like you said, it's a, you know, marriage. That's one of the main things. We have a different podcast that we have. It's called Man versus Society, and I'm about to. It's already done. We're about to put it up. Me and John Bill, we do it, and that was one of those subjects. You know, it's like a lot of people don't realize. You know, being married and it's not hard if you really love that person, but it is a give and take. It's two people, you know, and y'all have to compromise, man. And like you said, it's the world, man. You can be as nice as you right now. We be on camera, and as soon as this camera get off, boys on to pop it.
That's right. Oh yeah, man. You don't know what happened right before I got on here. So
hey, I was already in the doghouse before I got on here myself. So I'm trying to dig my way out. That's what I'm doing. Digging.
Yeah, it's life, man. It's life.
So I see all the artists that you have on there. Who are some of the artists that are rapping on some of the music?
Oh man, so this last album, man, this is probably my best one, but it's so many incredible artists on here. Like her name is Mary McGrew, but they call her Skits.
Yeah, Skits.
So,
I
didn't know she was a rapper. I remember I was on Facebook back in like 15, and this guy named who calls himself Fudge, Elton Randall. He was like, he put up a post and Tim Shorts had commented and a bunch of people were commenting, and then she commented, and I was like, oh, you rap? And then she like, yeah. And then Tim and Elton hit me up like, yeah, she's dope. Ever since then, I got to work with this chick. So I told her I do gospel rap and everything, and she like, oh yeah, that's good. So ever since then, she's definitely one of the dopest. I got her, she's on like probably about 5 songs on the new album. Shoot, now that I think about
that's
it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, one named Harvest. My wife is on there. Oh man, Fudge is on there, man. If I would have known that you had retired, I probably would have been asking you to, let's go ahead and do something on there. But
hey man, so I'm always, I might jump on something. I might throw a track in or something. I need to, that was my only. I have one. Well, before I forget, Mary has the distinction. She is one of the original, and I say original. She's one of the first artists that I signed to my label. She is actually the first female rapper on A-Town Variety Records or ATV Records. She is the first one. She is my first artist with Major. They were my first 2 artists that I had. So Mary's one of the distinctive. She's like in the category of like she's the queen over here. That's my girl, man. Man, she's awesome. She was so awesome back then, and I'm glad to see her still doing a thing and at least that. But we also had some other artists that had switched over. Lil Blue, Blue Smith. He went and switched over to gospel. Yeah, Michael Smith. Yeah, he switched over to gospel, and I remember now that was funny. We had finished his album. He had already had one album, but he had another one that he was working on. This album was just, it was great. They were about to really blow up. We had our distribution set up by that point, and him and his partner, they were ready to go. So one day, literally, we just got done. Finished mastering it, handed him to take it home, check it, make sure everything's good. So we're getting all the business side ready to go, and maybe a week later, he comes to the studio and he said, man, God called me, man. I can't, I don't want to do this anymore. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't want to do it anymore, man? God told me that's it. I got to move. I got to change. I want to go to gospel music. And he was not worried, but just coming to me after all the work that we had did, it was like, am I going to be angry at him? And I told him, you know what, man, if God told you to do this, then you need to go do it. I said, but let me tell you something. I said something that still to this day, I kind of, it's an old phrase, you know, you can't play on both sides of the fence. And I said, you know, if you're gonna be over there, then you go over there, and you do what you got to do. Over here is where it is for me. And I never would switch over. I had people that would do gospel shows in my studio and things like that. You know, they would record in there, but I have never really dabbled too much on that side. You know, of course I've sung in church choir and everything, but I didn't get deep into it because I was always R&B and hip hop and all that kind of thing. So I always kind of want to go, but I don't want to go. You know, I want to play, but I don't want to. And I feel like I have to be careful when I jump on that, because again, my heart is pretty much, I would say, you know, in love the Lord, but then I love hip hop and R&B, man. And so it's like, but you know what I mean? It's just, I would love to contribute to anything that you guys are doing. I don't care what it is, whether it's a track or anything. It's just, like you said, I'm always open to help and do stuff like that. All you gotta do is ask me. I'm loving retirement. Retirement is fun. Yeah. You know what? People ask me, why are you retired? Because it's time for me. But at the same time, I still do music. I just do it on, you know, for me. I don't do it for the industry anymore, which was driving me insane.
I bet it was. Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. Well, you know, like you said, you leave the street for a reason. Mm-hmm. And when I was in the industry, the street had pretty much, it was the industry. So basically, you might as well be, you know, slanging dope. You might as well be, I mean, that's where all the dope boys were. That's where, I mean, we were just all in there. And it was to a point, I'm like, man, do I really want to do this? It's just like, man, I mean, I could die on the street. I don't feel like dying doing music. This is crazy. I mean, and no, it just wasn't fun anymore either. The music business itself, you driving yourself constantly. You know,
it costs money, man. Mm-hmm.
Woo, yeah, it's, you know, and then you got bad contracts. You got you got street beefs that's going crazy, and you got neighborhoods acting up. Now I'm from Texas, but I'm over in somebody else's backyard, and they mad at somebody else, and now I'm having to take. I'm not gonna take sides with anybody, dude. I'm not that dude. You know, I ride alone, and if it is, it is. You know, it's hard to be that way in the industry when we're not doing music anymore. It's drugs and. I tell my kids that all the time, man. You see people with needles in they taking breaks to go. The band will go take a break, and this dude in here high, he got needles in his arm. You know, I mean, that's what touring was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's to be honest.
Open up some things to you. That's gonna be more of a Cat Williams, Club Shay Shay type deal, but I'm about to open up some real to you. So it's not. I'm gonna be honest, it's not that much different from sides. It's your beliefs is what makes it different. So if you're all in for God, this is what God wants you to do. That's the difference. I have been on tours, done events with other Christian rappers, male and female, back there smoking weed right before they get ready to go on stage.
Man, I've heard stories like that.
Where they're beefing with other cliques, I've witnessed it. I was a promoter, so I'm like, I'm cool with this one, cool with these, all these different ones, but you're not getting along with them because of why? Man, you got to be, because why? Because one could be Catholic, one could be Latter-day Saints, their beliefs are different. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who say they're Christian is brought in to Christianity differently. You could be Church of God in Christ, while this one over here doesn't believe in music. They're Church of Christ. Baptists got their own way of thinking. I mean, it's so many different ways. And I've been around different cliques that had different upbringings in church where they bring that mentality and they forgot this is about the word. This is about us getting the message out. Forget
this ain't a gang.
You got here. We are here now. But they make it almost gang-like.
It's gang culture. It's like gang culture, man. You're like, wow, okay, for real?
Now,
it's like that.
Now you got cliques beefing with each other in the Christian hip-hop, and it is
oh,
crazy.
My God.
So I had to take a step back and take a look at some things and be like, wow, it's really not that much different over here. So when contracts are signed, people are not understanding, well, I should get this because, no, we're Christian. No. This is business. There's a difference. Okay, your beliefs are different.
And that's the question I'm going to ask you. So on the money side of the Christian rap and Christian rap or Christian music, period, I mean, I know that they get paid. I know that that's, it's a business. But does it kind of how can I put it? Is it bad? Like, are they fighting about money and like we do on the hip hop side? And it's
it's still a way. If you still try, if this is your occupation or way of trying to eat, everything's the same. The only difference is you know where you're going when you die.
Oh wow. Oh, wow.
You still need to have a lawyer. You still need to have somebody there that can account for, okay, you reading this contract good? Yeah, but I don't really understand it. That's why I brought you here. You know what I'm saying?
Are the contracts as crazy as the hip-hop side? Oh, my
yes,
God.
Sir.
Yeah, because,
man, the producers, the distributing and all that, they still get more than you. It's all still out there. Oh, yeah. Because they don't care about what kind of music it is as long as they making the music, the money.
Wow. See, I would always think that side of the business. Well, in the beginning, I thought, when I started seeing like Kirk Franklin and that kind of thing, I was thinking that maybe it was a little better because I saw, a lot of people that were doing hip hop. They jumped and, like musicians that were doing it, they would, go on into different sides and, start playing gospel music. So I was thinking that, man, maybe it's a little better on that end because it's more, I was thinking there's more love and more caring and things of that nature. But I've heard a lot of stories that on the road, there's friends of mine or road managers that would tell me, man, it's crazy out here, man. It's like they might as well be back in the hip hop game. It's that crazy. I'm like, and I'm like, for real? I'm like, is that like that?
Yeah, Christian hip hop is a label. It's just another genre of the music because hip hop is a spectrum. So it's all types of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Even Kirk Franklin that you mentioned, he is on air talking about his very first album. He got 0 royalties on it. It's a business. So it doesn't. Yeah, man, I've been in this part now 11 years now, going on 12, and the stuff I've witnessed was like, whoo, thank God I'm saved, because I'm telling you, I've seen fights. It's ridiculous, man. I've seen fights in the church. I've seen guys getting called out after the concert. Hey, okay, I got you. You know what I'm saying? I've seen guys fighting over girls. It's real. Man, look. The only thing is, after that, you're supposed to say, I forgive you, my brother, and all that. Some people don't. Because it's about the motive that you have. Are you in this to try to make money and you're going to try to pimp God out so you're just using his name to make money? Or is your heart really in it? Because he knows your heart. So are you really in it because you are told to get his message out and he'll bless you for doing so? It's all about motives, and a lot of people don't understand. Hey, man, I'm out here rapping and doing all this for God. Yeah, you going hard for God, but is that what he told you to do for him? You like it because it feels good. He might want you to go and pass out flyers or pass out Bibles, and you said no because this feels better. Well, you're not listening. The Holy Spirit is talking to you, and you said, but I get to that, but I got to do my own thing first. Well, then, you're not in this on Christian hip hop. You're in this. You're a hip hopper trying to do Christian.
Right, your heart and like you said, your motives. I've never heard that before. I never thought about it like that. Your motives when you go in there, it should be pure. You should be thinking, the whole point of it is to praise God. It shouldn't be to I guess that's where in my mind I'm looking at it. Yeah, I'm looking at it from afar, even though I'm there. I'm watching it and I'm thinking, it has that look. Sometimes, not everybody. Like you said, this ain't a broad brush. There's Christian music and Christian artists that are pure and to their heart about what they're doing. But there's some that just, I guess, like it is in anything. I guess they're not full. They're chasing something that was on this side, you know, on the rap game, and then they're bringing it over here to the other side, and it's not a good look, and it doesn't look good. You can see it too immediately. I mean, it's just not cool.
Oh yeah.
I can imagine them fighting though, man. That's crazy. It's in there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The word of God says, you know, Jesus said, many will come in my name, but that doesn't mean they believe in me. This is, you know, Jesus, he basically, many people will say they're Christian, but that doesn't mean their heart is a believer. Man,
Right. See that?
Oh man.
Man, I hate that, you know, that's crazy to me just to even think about it in that format that people are out there fighting, and you know, because it shouldn't even be about money. It shouldn't. I know money's important, but it shouldn't be about any of that. I mean, God transcends all that. That's not even the whole purpose of doing the music, you know, in general. You know, God gave you a gift and a talent, and you need to use it to your best ability. And that's kind of where I'm at in life, is that I know God blessed me. That was something that I had friends, and you know, they would come and they just was hard headed. They'd be like, "Man, can you do something for me? Can you do something?" I'm like, "Man, I'm you know, I'm done. I'm not, you know, I'm just not. I don't feel it. I don't want to do it anymore." And when I said I didn't want to do it anymore, I didn't. That didn't mean there wasn't music, you know, going around in my head, or I didn't have my studio up. My studio was always up. I just wasn't. I wasn't commercially out there in the world. And like you said, at a certain point, someone was like, you know, God gave you a gift. Why aren't you using it? And I'm like, well, he did give me a gift, but until he tells me to use it for a certain purpose, I'm not going to use it. And I'll know when it's time. When I feel it's something that I want to do for myself or for the community at large, then I will do it. And then that's when I decided to come back. And when I did my first music, it threw me off because I didn't realize that there was people in the world. Because again, like I said, I just did work, man. I wasn't looking for fame and all that. I just stayed in the studio and worked and toured. So when I did put it out, I got a response that I wasn't, you know, it kind of shook me a little bit. It's like, "Hey, we love you." I'm like, "Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
Right.
You know, I ain't been here in a long time." I'm like, "No, man, we love it. Keep going." Okay, well, that's good. But like you said,
your song I like.
yeah, One Way. Yeah, I brought that. You know, the whole album, again, just trying to do something. I want to do my style of music that I love, the 80s and kind of, you know, different type of R&B kind of thing, and I want to do that, and at the same time I wanted to help people. I wanted to bring the podcast in and try to help people and use my voice for something other than, like you said, other than just music.
Right.
And so that's what I was wondering, you know, as far as like the artists and are the albums that you did, are they up like Spotify and all that kind of stuff where you can just go down, you can stream it?
Everything.
Good. So that way everybody can go check it out. What's the names of the albums so everybody can hear it?
So you got Rapture Ready, which a guy named Charles Edwards, Chili Red Beats.
Chili Red Beats.
Yes, sir. So he helped me on this last one. So you got Rapture Ready, you got Christ Swag, No More No Less, you got Grown in Christ, you got all Christ Swagged Up, Christ Slabbed Up. Oh man, you
Christ slabbed up.
You got so many.
I like that.
So many.
I like that.
What's another one? Stand Firm in the Faith. It's called Still Standing Firm. Yeah, Still Standing Firm. I think that's it. Oh, and All Souls Matter. Yeah, I think those are the ones that are out. And
who's doing your videos? I like the videos, man. Videos.
Okay, so
dope.
Chili Red Beats actually did my last, I want to say 4 of them.
Okay.
The original one, when I was first doing them, you know, I kind of did my own, and I did them with a guy named John, and we called him Mirage, but that was back in like 15.
Okay.
But yeah, Chili Red pretty much is the one that's been doing them.
Man, Chili Red is working, boy. He on his grind. When I tell you he on his grind, he on his grind. Y'all ain't hear me out there, man. If you don't know Chili Red Beats, man, Hog Pen Click. Shout out to Hog Pen Click, man. They Hog Pen, boy, they own one right now, man. He is like out in the world kicking it.
Again, you know what I'm saying? They like,
man, I just did an interview with him and Mr. Shorts, man.
Yep,
and I was so happy to get them on here, man, because like I said, I go back with so many different. I had Abe Cortez on here, man. I had DJ Casanova. I just did his interview, man. At Cass. I got Dank coming up. Erica Sadi, she's coming up. I got Misdemeanor. Misdemeanor. I got Misdemeanor Saturday. So she's coming in tomorrow. So I hopefully I get that interview. I am, got the White Brother, man. I got Steve Savage. I'm finna get everything I can. I wanna touch on so much more just down to earth, people that were really working hard out here in music and entertainment, and just that love Austin, that were doing things in the community. I really want to get that said, because it seems like we don't have a voice, to that point where you say, okay, well, who was out here doing it? Well, this person was out here doing this. This person's out here doing this. I got a lot of people I need to get with. Like Lloyd Ellison. He don't even know I'm about to come.
Lloyd, man.
Yeah, Lloyd, promoter. He's a singer. He's an activist. I need to get him, because again, some people they forget that there were people out in the community that stuck their neck out. They was really out there fighting, and when the 90s and the 80s and the 90s was rough, especially that was the crack era. So I went to school. Me and you went to school in the crack era.
Yes,
Pierce and LBJ, and oh my God, it was Fair East Side. Hey man, if y'all ever watched Lean on Me, man, that's what Pierce looked like. Pierce was rough, man. It was a rough little junior high school, and so
who was that would come through, man? I think we called him Woody.
Woody Harrelson?
Yeah, you remember him?
Shout out to Woody. That's my homeboy, man. That's my partner, man.
Yeah.
Woody was wild, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
Man, Woody used to do donuts in the front of the school, man. He was the only one that had a car. How he had a car, I have no idea. We're we like 15, 16 years old, man. Yeah. He had a car. He's doing donuts in the. It's the teachers looking over at him like, how's you driving? Yeah, man, we had so much fun, man. We was stealing cars back when I was a kid, man, with Colony Park. Man, we was acting so just crazy. We was doing too much, man. But that, like you said, time changes, and that's another thing, for the podcast, to see people change, and evolve, and go into different areas. And church is so important here in Austin. If you're not affiliated with some of the churches here, I know in Austin itself, a lot of those churches, I'm not sure if some of them are still there or not. I mean, my family went to Ebenezer, and then and some other churches, like St. John's, St. John's or St. James, St. James, St. John's and St. James. Yeah, and then
isn't even around anymore. Mine was McKinley Heights.
Yeah.
They're not around anymore.
Oh man, that's crazy. That's and then I'm currently a member of Mount Zion. Mount Zion, really? and Reverend Clark used to be our.
So McKinley Heights is the church that was right around the corner on the front of. So you had 12th Street, McKinley Heights. Once you make that right around the corner, there's your church, Mount Zion.
Man, we used to be you could see it from even Ebenezer. You could see Ebenezer from the highway, man. Now it's just they done took there's condos or whatever, so it's kind of messed up. It's like now you don't see the churches. Yeah, gentrification. That's a word for the young people. Gentrification. I feel bad. I wish we could have kept those neighborhoods and really preserved them.
The neighborhoods, right?
Yeah, preserved them. But you know what? It was the game from the get go, man. It was plotted out way before we were even thought of in the game. They wanted that land way back, way back, and they got it.
Me and your story is kind of similar too, because you said you lived in Colony Park 2-4. I was Lakeside, and then you moved to 2-3, and so I ended up I don't know, like Warren H. them lived on the other side where, what was that called, off Loyola, where
they lived.
KCI used to be.
Not Los Seamus. Los Seamus is over there by
LBJ.
LBJ.
Right.
That was called the Bluffs. That's what we used to call it.
The Bluffs.
We used to call it. That's the nickname for it. The Bluffs. Shout out to everybody that grew up in the Bluffs, and we was just talking about the Bluffs, and yeah, we moved. Dottie Jordan. When we moved when I was 12, we moved to or 13. We moved to Lakeside Drive, which is off of Carol Ann. So I moved over there with Major and Raymond Franklin, Major Henderson, and all of us over there, and then Greg Cairo. We all lived on the same block, and
yes, sir.
yeah, and so we all was there, and then like you said, Warren and Patrick Cook and Pat Love, as everybody comes, DJ Pat Love, and shoot, you had Pooh. Marlon Carter, you got Pooh and Curly and Curtis. Yeah, man. You had Keith. Keith. You had Tony Johnson. Yeah. Man, they had that whole neighborhood over there in the Bluffs, man. You had Ted Wicks. Shout out to Ted. Man, we had that whole neighborhood was, you
you talking about Capricia and
Capricia Red. What's up, Red?
Yep. See, I know that.
Oh man, you hit one right there, man. That whole neighborhood was talent. When I say that whole neighborhood was talent, I mean, they have no idea. Dinky D, all of them grew up over there, man. Then Sucky grew up on the other side. He was on over there by Donnie Jordan. On that, Sucky and them lived in the neighborhood behind the store and all that over there. They lived over there, The Ronald Jones. Shout out to Ronald Jones, man. 2-3. He's if you want an OG 2-3. That's what that is. Yeah. If you don't know Ronald, man, you don't know Bubba. You ain't from the hood, man. You don't know nobody.
I was telling my wife about this stuff, man. I was like, I wish I could take, because she's 7 years younger and she's from San Antonio. So that, she didn't know Austin back in the 80s or the 90s.
Yeah.
I said, you missed out on so much of what Austin was doing. I don't know what San Antonio was doing. I remember some of the music I listened to from them, like PKO and all them.
Yeah, they were going hard. They were going hard out there.
Austin was going harder.
Austin, we were blending and moving, and I got into the hip hop game because I was already in music. I was touring when I was 12, 11 years old. So I started singing when I was.
You was well known, man. You yeah.
Well, thank you. I wasn't trying to be. I was just. I don't know what I was doing. I was just having fun. Yeah. Me and John. Yeah, John and
Johnny Clark. But all you guys, man, was like legends.
Yeah, we was in high school. We was in high school touring other high schools and other schools. It was crazy, and shout out to Mr. Ament, because he was our teacher at LBJ. He was the one that had us doing shows at Keelan and everywhere else. But see, I was touring with my cousin Carl Arnold. He was in Tejano and blues, and we had a band called King Crab. And if you go back in the way back Austin Statesman days, you'll see King Crab. We used to play in all downtown, and I was like 11 or 12 years old. I'm in bars, and I opened for Chado Negro and Lil Joe and Joe Valentine, who played with my biological dad, who was Albert Rito. Joe Valentine and my dad Albert, they grew up in Houston together, and they toured with Little Richard and everybody, you name it. They were big. So I was around out there as a kid doing that kind of stuff, and so man, when I tell you Austin was crazy. I moved into that hip hop side early 90s and everything like everybody else did, but Sam Houston Boys was shout out to Adrian and Lil Breezy and all that, man. That was the staple for me. I got in that way with the Houston acts. That's what people don't realize, that Houston at that time, they were kind of migrating and jumping and going to different towns and doing shows and hopping around. Like you said, the promoters would grab them and take them to Taylor, or they would come to Austin, or they would stay in Austin. Literally, they would be here doing shows, and so we did so many albums that are intersected, where you will see Slim Thug and Baxter Russell, You know, if you don't know Baxter from Austin, you know, you see him, he's gonna come on the show too. And MC Fatal, all of us was all doing these shows and doing albums. You know, Sam Houston Boys have all of those people on the first albums that they did. It's like one of the first albums with Houston. Yeah, they had Kiki, they had Mo, they had, I mean, you name it. They had all the Houston acts at that time before they literally like really blew up. They were already, you know, hot, but they hadn't blew up yet. And so it was just SUC. It was just a full scale. That's why that album is so important. It was such a huge album. Both of their albums at that time, was two of them that came out. And so it was, so we came out then, you know, and that, like you said, San Antonio had TKO and Dallas. I remember Nemesis a little bit. Nemesis might have been a little bit earlier, but they had their thing.
I just introduced Munchies for Your Bass and all that to my
right.
2 weeks
DJ
ago.
Snake. Shoot. Yeah, man. I used to go to Dallas. I had cousins up there too. We used to go up there and do the Juneteenth up there. We press up T-shirts and do Juneteenth. Man, when I tell you, I've never seen anything like that. DJ Hollywood back in those days, it was a guy named DJ Hollywood, and they would be out there on the park. It would be huge. You think our park would be huge, you know, Rosewood and Givens. Yeah. Oh man, it would be huge. They have parades and horses and dudes on bicycles and that look like slabs and stuff. It was crazy. And that was back in the 80s. You know, man, it was so much fun. Texas in general was an awesome place to be around for hip hop and R&B. You know, just music in general. Growing up here is just, man. I mean, it was a beautiful experience.
Mini trucks and all that.
Mini trucks. Oh man, the mini truck. Warren Dixon. Shout out to Warren Dixon with his mini truck.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, his mini truck. That mini truck, boy, he rode that thing to death, man. It was cool too, boy. Like you said, the neighborhoods back then, you know, was so cool. You know, Colony Park and Lakeside and all those neighborhoods. And shout out to Portia and
all of them.
Portia Ford and Gerald. I seen Gerald at the store the other day. So what's up, man? I'm gonna shout you out and you know and I grew up with Amber Hilliard. You know, rest in peace to her and all her family and so, you know, just, man, it was so much fun. The times that we come from was great, you know.
It really was. And I often said, man, if we had social media and all the technology we have now, back then, it probably would have took the fun away, to be honest.
We'd have been locked up, first of all. None of us would have ever got out of jail. Let's keep that real. None of us. I mean, the whole lot of us. Man, that was not, no.
Much going on. Yeah,
no, we can't. No, we can have no cameras. None. It's worse just talking about a lot of stuff that happened back then. Yeah. I can't imagine somebody videotaping. Woo, it's a lot that went on.
All them YouTube videos and Twitter. I was telling Mom, I said, you know, I had a lot of fights back then, but you know, nobody then was holding up cameras and putting them on for the world to see. So no, they're just stories now.
No, fighting was a thing. You had to fight. If you didn't know how to fight, then that wasn't a thing, man. I remember when I was at Bergstrom, my dad. We lived on Bergstrom when I was really like a baby, like young. But when we moved to Colony Park, man, my first day before I walked outside to go play, and me and Amber, God rest her soul, she came across the street and she was playing this game called Sorry, and so she had it right there on her driveway, and so I was like, we was there playing, and something happened. I don't know. I rolled a dice, she rolled a dice. We got in an argument. Next thing I know, me and her are fighting. Literally, I'm talking about punching and fighting each other. Like it was, like, you know. And then all these people come out of our house, John and Duck and you know and Zachary and all these people come out. Man, I'm like, oh my God, look at that. And her mama, you know, God rest her soul, you know, she come in, she said, Laquette, she come, hey, come on in, baby, you come in here and you get something to eat.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fun back then, man. We would fight, and then the next day we'd fight again, and then we'd be cool, you know.
That's just how it was.
It wasn't, you know, nobody took it personal. Nobody took it personal. You know, you took your ass whooping, and then you come back the next day and you took another ass whooping if that was what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, and that's it. And then you move on, and then you see them on the bus and school, whatever. It is what it is. Hey,
you either gonna let it go, or hey, you can get it again. I mean, you and your family bring all your brothers and sisters, and we can all get it in. It was, you know, that's the way it was back then, man. It was fun.
Yeah.
Now I wish the kids.
Too many fights where people held grudges against me. It was one of those. If
Yeah.
we fought, you wasn't gonna want to fight me again. I don't care if I won or lost. My biggest fear was having to go home and tell my dad.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
I was scared of my mama.
If I won or lost, but he would always say, just make sure they didn't want to fight you again. If you lost, they ain't gonna want to fight you again. Exactly.
I'm scared of my mama. My mama, I remember I got beat up. I got beat up pretty bad. I had really, my eye was all messed up. I was bleeding. I got beat up, man. And my mama, she say, well, looks like you need, she, you know, cleaned me up. Sent me right back outside. Go handle your business. Boy, I went back out there and I had to fight, man. It wasn't no. I realized real quick it was not gonna happen. You got to get out there and do your thug thizzle. Oh yeah, you learn real quick, man. We played tackle in the street. Yeah. Literally. I mean, I'm for real. Sideline bus. We played tackle in the street. You know, we would nail each other right in the middle of the street, and I mean, it was real. I mean, we really did. Oh, we used to have. Now this is crazy. I know people going. This is crazy. Kids, please don't do this. You remember the railroad tracks? It was right there by the store. Yeah. So the kids that lived on the other side, which is still Colony Park, but you know, we were divided by that little track. Right. Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, we were kind of like rivals. So one day they were throwing rocks down on us, and so we started shooting BB guns at them, and so we were shooting and they were throwing and we were shooting, and next thing you know, people was getting hurt, man. It was all kind of, man, people's mamas and daddies started coming, and we was out there just acting dumb, and I mean, it was, oh God, we used to do some really dumb stuff, you know, just craziness, but I mean, it was fun to us. It was fun. It was just kid stuff, but at the same time it was really dangerous, but we were having fun. Yeah, I mean, and you know, but life, I think of these kids nowadays, even with the music and even with the way that the world is, it's almost like they don't have, I don't know, maybe their moral compass is a little off. I know we were rough back then, and I ain't gonna sit here and act like we weren't crazy and dangerous and we didn't do, you know, a lot of stuff, but it just seems that we would think we would have evolved, you know. The children would have gotten a different message by now, I would think.
Yeah, they were robbed of that, though. The reason why is because, again, they're able to see other cultures, a lot more of the world. So through video, you could see fights going on in Pennsylvania, and then you take whatever they're dealing with, and you take it to school from some drama you saw online. And they never got this generation, because I got kids in this new generation.
Yeah,
they
me
really
too.
Get to find their own identity, and so they're kind of living off of other people's identity and merging it with what they think is theirs, and now they're like somebody they don't even know, somebody we don't even know. I didn't raise you like that, but where you get that from? Oh, I got it from Twitter.
Right.
Oh, I
yeah,
got it
my
from
children.
YouTube. Oh, I got it from Facebook.
Right.
You know, Snapchat or something.
I know I don't have the best diction, but I'm gonna tell you, you know, my kids. Yeah, I mean, I my children. One of my kids, you know, both of them, the ones that are in high school. I'm like, dude, you know, where you? They'll come home and, you know I talk the way I talk because that's the way I was raised. I talk like that. I mean, that's where I'm from. Right. And so they like, you know, they'll have my diction. At first, they talk very, very good. You know, I'm like, their diction was very just awesome, and I'm like, oh, I love it. Oh man, they come home with this, you know, hey, did you bop 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 bop, and hey, dad, blah blah blah, and I'm like, whoa, what is that? And where you come home with that? Where that come from? And what just happened? Where did that come from? You know, why are we talking in broken vocabulary? I do it because I try not to, but it's in me. It's just the way I talk, but I try to tell them that's not, you know, if you're from any neighborhood or you from anything, you don't want that's not what you're trying to do, man. You're not trying to go backwards, you know. And like I told them, don't glorify things that you don't know nothing about, and you've never been in a drive-by, you've never been in a, you know, any of those things. So why are we perpetuating, you know, this? Be who you are, you know, enjoy your life. You know, there's people that we know in our neighborhoods that they literally are just getting out of jail, or they still in jail, and they went to jail when we were kids, and they still haven't gotten out yet. And those were real street dudes. These are dudes that pop people for real, and they gone. And they're not coming back. They're in there for the rest of their life. And so who wants to glorify that? You know, a lot of these kids, man, they do something and then they end up in jail. And they, you know, like people say, stop snitching. If everybody's going to jail now, because when we were younger, you could kind of commit crime. You know, even when because there were no cameras, but when my family, the older generation than us, they could really, you know, I had an uncle that killed somebody, and not to put his business out there, he's gone, but he killed somebody, and he didn't, you know, do life, you know, he got out, you know. So I mean, now you can't do that. You can't go around killing people. You can't go around stabbing nobody or pulling a gun on anybody or anything. You go to jail for a long time. You know, can't sell drugs. You go to jail for a long time. So, and they don't want to go to jail. That's the funny thing. They don't want to go to jail. They're good kids at heart, and they don't want to go to jail. It's just a persona.
Yeah.
And they don't need to. I mean, what are they doing all this for? It's crazy. I don't know. It's just a whole perception, I guess, of time, you know. But man, I appreciate you coming on, and we, you know, that was my thing. I wanted to make sure that we really touched on what's going on in the neighborhood, and I wanted to get God in here, see, because that was my goal. You know, God got to come in here and bless the podcast, and I wanted to make sure that we glorify His name in some kind of way and put Him up there, because that's something. That's what I love about what you do, is I see so much of it. Just being so positive, and the artists and the music, and it's production. The production is done really well. I love the music. You know, I'm like, who is doing the beats on now? Now I know who's doing Chili Red. And now it makes sense. I'm like, man, it was very good quality, and at the same time, it had a message behind it, and I love it. Like you said, you're gonna be doing singles now. You're not gonna do no more albums.
No, that's it.
So no more albums. So just singles, and are you gonna be? See, that's what I thought you was gonna try to do, is create a label for this genre, and to build it like that, because you have such a powerhouse of talent. I was like, man, that might be a pretty cool little thing to build.
Yeah, so I do have my own independent label called So Blessed Records.
Yeah,
came from the idea of Jermaine Dupri's So Deaf.
Correct.
But you know, it's independent. You know, I've thrown it out there. People want to get on, you know, come on. But really, it's really for them. It's really not for me, because I'm not here for that. So that's pretty much
right. It's just it's a vehicle to use. It's a car to get in, and just, that's your car. That's what we riding in. And if y'all want to get in for a couple of minutes and join in, that's cool. And if you don't, then you know, nothing permanent, nothing that would. But see, that I think for me, just watching it and seeing it, it was so refreshing. So I appreciate it, and I love the fact that you're doing it. And so I know a lot of people that speak on it, whether they tell you or not. It's awesome that you're doing it, because I was jamming it. So I mean, I would say keep the singles coming, and it's always a good vehicle to touch people, because you know, you never know what somebody's going through in their life, and then they just happen to be on Facebook, and boom, and there it is. You know, just, oh wow, you know, it catches you off guard, which is what you need. You know, it's not so in your face. You know, just some gospel music, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, no slight against gospel music, because I love gospel music. But, well, man, we're going to get on. As I always tell everybody, man, peace and love to everybody. And like I said, we appreciate you coming out, man, and getting on the podcast, man. You know it, man. Thank you. All right, bye-bye. Be flexing, getting in the game like a bit off the chain. The boys are on the tank, ain't another loving, man. When I be bouncing while they announcing it, the boys gon' hate. Some boys be popping truck, but I be popping tailgate. The trophy truck, sitting no book.